This video is going to be about the December transits. December 2024 transits. I'm going to start with the new moon in Sagittarius on December 1st. Characterized by themes of expansion, adventure, and optimism, this lunar phase invites you to set intentions around personal growth, freedom, and exploration, encouraging you to embrace new experiences, whether through travel, learning, or adopting an open-minded perspective. It's a time for bold actions and saying yes to opportunities that may lead to growth and fulfillment. However, this new moon is not without challenges. Its square to Saturn in Pisces may create tension between the desire for exploration and the need for discipline or responsibility. This aspect urges careful planning and mindfulness, reminding us to not rush into impulsive decisions. Additionally, Mercury retrograde opposing Jupiter retrograde can lead to overconfidence or miscommunication, emphasizing the need for balance between enthusiasm and practicality. So it's actually quite comical that Jupiter is in Gemini right now and Mercury is in Sagittarius. You want to know why? It's because they both oppose each other on the zodiac wheel. So Gemini and Sagittarius, opposites. And on top of that, Sagittarius's planet, which is Jupiter, is in Gemini's house. And Gemini's planet, Mercury, is in Sagittarius's house. Yeah. So it's basically like, I'll give an example. It's like two people that are saying the same things. They want the same things. They're saying the same thing to each other, but they don't understand. It's not connecting. But for some reason, when they talk to each other, they're saying, like, it sounds like foreign language and no one's understanding each other, but they're saying the exact same things. That's what it does. That's the perfect example. So, with the Mercury retrograde, it's best to kind of be very careful on how you communicate, reflecting on communication. That's the best advice that I could give. I need to take my own advice because I struggled with that and I still kind of struggle with that right now. You know what? I'm going to blame Jupiter because Jupiter is in my freaking moon right now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Where was I at? Overall, the new moon is ideal for setting optimistic and adventurous goals, provided they are grounded in realistic strategies. Signs particularly affected include Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces, but its influence resonates across the zodiac, of course. So the best things to focus on for the new moon, obviously, is setting intentions. You want to journal out all of your goals that you want to acquire, and skills you want to acquire, or the aspirations you have like 6 months from now. And you kind of come up with a plan A, plan B, plan C, and get organized in that. But with the Mercury retrograde as well, during this time, it is a very reflective time. You just kind of reflect over the past events that have kind of taken place in like the last couple months, or even over the year, the course of 6 months, I guess you could say, is just like that time frame. But you just kind of reflect on the things that you could have done better, or the way you've communicated, or the way you reacted to things, and how you can restructure that is a good time to kind of go over all that stuff. Balance the freedom, the urge to have freedom during this time, since the moon's going to be in Sag. You're going to have this urge to want to just get out and just do a whole bunch of things. And you want to be spontaneous because that's what Sag is all about. But you have to have discipline because of that Saturn aspect that's there at the same time. Yeah. So after that, we have the Mars retrograde in Leo. Yes. So Mars has been in Leo, and it's going to go retrograde on December 6th. It's going to prompt reflections on assertiveness and how we channel our energy, because Leo is the one who is like the leader, you know, the sun rules over the sun, and ego, pride, all that kind of stuff. Like, that's when Mars is in retrograde, it can have a negative effect. And almost, even when it's not retrograde, if you have too much Mars that's right there, it can make you come out too like egotistical and stuff. But just speaking on the retrograde, it's going to be from December 6th to February 23rd, 2025. So this is going to be a long period of time. And it's going to be anywhere from 7 degrees to 21 degrees in Leo. Themes are going to be reflection on all those things, creativity as well, because Leo rules over the 5th house. So any 5th house themes like creativity, children, dating, romance, assertiveness, ego, pride, your ambitions, your drive. When it's retrograde, it's going to slow down this momentum that you build up, and it could lead to frustration or delays in pursuing goals. It can have us express or reevaluate how we express our personal power and our creative gifts. Definitely a big time to reflect on any issues that come to the surface around inflated egos or unresolved insecurities, because that's essentially what egos, like an overly exaggerated ego that comes out of nowhere. In most cases, it's because there's an unresolved insecurity there that prompts it. And so this will be a time to reassess how pride and ambition align with the authenticity, or is this just coming from somewhere else that hasn't been healed or recognized? But anything to do with like projects involving like artistic leadership endeavors could come to a stall, or they may require revision. This transit encourages refining those creative ideas rather than launching new initiatives. And another thing too, Mars retrograde often stirs unresolved conflicts. So anything to do with the ego, authority, creative assertiveness as well. Physical energy and health could be low, especially if any kind of overexertion has occurred. It's kind of a time to reset and take it easy. But the opportunities to grow will be in reflecting how you lead and inspire others. Are your motivations ego-driven, or are they aligned with your values and your purpose? Use this period to revisit past creative projects or explore new forms of self-expression that may not yet be ready for public display. Healing past conflicts as well, because retrograde periods are excellent for resolving old disputes that might happen. In Leo, this could involve mending relationships where pride caused a rift. And the aspects during Mars retrograde will be one that is with Jupiter. So it'll square Jupiter which represents expansions and versus limits, could exaggerate conflicts between ambition and reality. And then oppositions to Saturn and Uranus. That might highlight struggles between control, freedom, and creative vision. So just pay attention to your personal chart placements anywhere between 7 degrees and 21 degrees. Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. Advice for navigating the Mars retrograde is plan. Don't act, just plan. Focus on refining strategies rather than starting new ventures. Avoid overreacting. Emotional responses can be heightened, particularly in ego-related matters. Pause before reacting. Revisit past goals, because that's what retrogrades are all about. Reflect on whether your current pursuits align with your authentic passions and values. Mars retrograde in Leo challenges us to lead with integrity, align actions with our inner truth, and rediscover the balance between personal ambition and collaborative efforts. Just want to make sure this is still on. I do not want this thing to like disconnect randomly. Ugh, that would suck. Okay, so now, next one is going to be Venus entering Aqua. Aquarius, December 7th. Here we go. So when Venus enters Aquarius, it's going to form a conjunction with Pluto. Yay! This aspect creates a potent and transformative energy in matters of love, relationships, and values. While Venus in Aquarius focuses on independence, innovation, and intellectual connection, Pluto's presence intensifies emotions and brings depth, compelling a confrontation with hidden desires, fears, and power dynamics in relationships. The key themes of Venus-Pluto conjunction in Aquarius is transformation in relationships, basically. So, the relationships that do thrive, that are able to continue thriving, will deepen significantly, often marked by increased emotional or intellectual intimacy. Pluto will also reveal underlying emotional currents and unresolved patterns. With Venus involved, this is a time to address issues around trust, control, and vulnerability. Aquarius adds an intellectual and forward-thinking element, encouraging discussions and solutions that embrace personal freedom and collective growth. Power and autonomy. Themes of equality and independence in relationships are likely to surface. This aspect can highlight imbalances in control leading to power struggles or breakthroughs in understanding. And then creativity and aesthetic rebirth. Venus, Pluto, and Aquarius also affects creativity and aesthetics. This transit supports innovative and bold artistic pursuits, favoring work that challenges conventions and taps into deeper truths. So all in all, the challenges for that when Venus goes into Aquarius is, and making that Pluto aspect, obsessive tendencies could happen just because of that combination usually creates that. Fears of change. Pluto's transformative energy might trigger resistance, especially in relationships or situations where people fear losing control or stability. Emotional detachment versus depth. Aquarius detachment might create tension as Pluto demands emotional honesty and depth. So the best advice is to just kind of embrace whatever change is happening. If you don't feel like, I mean, you'll know if something doesn't feel like it's supported or it feels like it has run a course already, and if there's no way of evolving it, then Pluto's going to ask you to let it fade, right? But if it's strong enough, or if there's, because every relationship is different, it just depends. You'll know. Sometimes we're able to evolve to a higher level of relation to others at times, because Aquarius is unconventional. Aquarius is not traditional at all whatsoever. So Aquarius can be the type that, I mean, this is kind of just like idealistic. It's not really something that happens often, but I've just heard of situations before where it's like you can become friends with your ex or something like that. You know, those types of things, like, because they're unconventional. I don't know if that's a good example, but something like that, where it's like you kind of go through the process of transformation, and even though you have a past, you can evolve and grow through that, and it takes on another level of something. So, but yeah, it's going to peak around mid-December, that conjunction. Its influence will extend for a few days before and after the exact aspect. It's especially going to impact individuals with planets or points in Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. Yeah. Then we have a full moon in Gemini. In my moon sign. Yay. Full moon in Gemini on December 15th. And it's going to illuminate themes of communication and intellectual clarity. This full moon invites letting go of outdated thought patterns and improving how we express ourselves, because Gemini rules over the third house. The third house is communication. It's social media as well, actually. Overall, your mind. It's your mind. It's your mental pattern, your thought pattern. So it's going to impact Gemini the most. So I'm like prepping myself for that, because I know it's going to be a shit show, but maybe not. Who knows? Full moon in Gemini in my moon. So Sun enters Capricorn December 21st. The winter solstice initiates a period of grounding and goal setting. Capricorn energy supports structure, discipline, and preparation for the year ahead. Then Jupiter in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces on December 24th. So this aspect can create tension between expansion and restriction, because Jupiter wants to expand, right? But of course, if it's in Gemini, it's kind of in its fall. So it's not as strong as being like in Sagittarius or even Aries, because it was in Aries before. Or no, it was in Taurus, not Aries. It's in Taurus. But yeah, so it can create this tension between expansion and restriction, encouraging a balance between optimism and realism. It's a good time to reassess long-term goals. Then the Venus in Aquarius that starts on the 7th is going to make an aspect on the 27th of December, squaring Uranus in Taurus. So this is the big one. December 27th. This aspect could disrupt relationships or financial matters, inspiring a need for independence and adaptability. It encourages staying grounded while embracing the change. And then Chiron will go direct in Aries on December 29th. So as Chiron resumes its direct motion, healing past wounds becomes easier to do. It'll support personal growth and inspire a more openness to closure. New moon in Capricorn, and they call it the dark moon though. So 2 new moons in 1 month. But yeah, the new moon in Capricorn, December 30th, it's going to be a lunation that offers a chance to set practical goals for the new year, emphasizing discipline and long-term planning. So energies to navigate. It's going to be the interplay between expansive ideas and realistic boundaries. Those are the key themes because it's with Jupiter and Saturn having a showdown, basically. Then retrogrades, the Mars and Mercury ending on December 15th. It'll slow down the momentum, but provide opportunities to revisit and refine existing plans, or if anything needs closure, then that's a good time to do that. And you have the time to reflect during the retrograde season, and you kind of assess things, and then that way you can kind of tie up loose ends and get closure on certain things, hopefully. Those are always our hopes, to get closure, right? So what signs are most affected by the transits? Well, all the signs are going to be affected, of course, but there's some that will feel it more than others. And I'm just going to name off a few. So Gemini, of course, is going to be affected with that full moon on December 15th. It'll highlight self-expression, communication, personal growth. Geminis may feel a surge in mental clarity, but are also called to release unhelpful habits. And then Jupiter's presence in Gemini squaring Saturn in Pisces on December 24th will create this push and pull between big ideas and grounded realities. It doesn't mean that you have to completely disregard any of your dreams, your aspirations, but what it's going to have you do is just take it slow and build towards it. So sometimes Geminis, like myself, can get a little too fast and not be patient. So I'll be working on that big time. Yeah. Leo, of course, is going to be affected because of Mars retrograde. That'll be on December 6th, urging Leos to reevaluate their approach to ambition and leadership. It may bring delays or require patience in areas involving passion or assertiveness. And then Capricorn, of course, because of the new moon. Aquarius, because Venus going into Aquarius. And of course, Pluto. Pluto's there for like 40 freaking years. Wait, no. 20. Yeah, what am I saying? That would friggin' suck. 40 years? Oh my God. No. So Venus and Aquarius will square Uranus and Taurus December 27th, potentially creating disruptions in relationships and finances and such. So Aquarians may feel a strong desire or independence and change, but it's being able to recognize that you still have freedom, you're still independent, you can still do whatever you want, but it's like you have to have certain responsibilities and stick to them. I think that's what Aquarians sometimes fear. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting more restricted, but really you're not. It's just balancing the two. Yes. Oh, they're all gone.
Well, then how did you get some today?
Those are the leftover ones.
Well, then where are the ones today for today?
They're all gone.
Where is it? What?
What? No, that's mine. Give. That's mine. You guys had all of them already. Are you kidding me? You guys have all of them. You had all of them. Like literally went through all those snacks in like 2 days. 2 days. No. I might give you one of those if you let me finish my video.
Okay, well.
Okay, you gotta go right now though.
But can I get something from there?
No, I said you gotta let me finish my video, and afterwards, if you listen afterwards, I'll give you one. But you have to go out right now.
But I want the Oreo thing.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay. He's a Pisces sun. So his sun's in Pisces. I think his moon is in Sagittarius. I think. Or maybe he's a Sagittarius rising, but he's got Sagittarius in him too. And I left off on Pisces. So Pisces is another sign that's being big time affected, especially with Saturn being in there. And it's been pissing me off because I have a major Pisces placement there. My Venus is there, actually, yes. So Saturn hasn't been very nice to me. But besides that, Jupiter-Saturn square on December 24th affects Pisces' ability to balance expansion with discipline, particularly around creativity and long-term goals. So Saturn in Pisces encourages a focus on responsibilities and restructuring life around meaningful goals. And then, of course, Aries. With Chiron going direct on December 29th, it's a healing period for Aries, encouraging personal growth and the resolution of past wounds. General themes for all signs. Signs ruled by Mercury, which is Gemini and Virgo, are sensitive to the end of Mercury retrograde. So till December 15th, improving communication and decision making. And then the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, may feel challenged by the Venus-Uranus square and Mars retrograde, especially in relationships and creative endeavors. So all in all, all these transits are going to recalibrate all signs, all the signs, prepare for the new year with specific lessons tailored to each sign's unique energies. And then the nodes will change next year. The North Node and the South Node will change next year. And I'll do another video on that. I think I'm going to also do one on Gemini. Gemini full moon. Who knows? We'll find out, because if all hell breaks loose, then that might not happen. But yeah. All right, cool. Peace out.